Hello, world, and welcome to the Quick Kick Picks presented by Bros Talking Soccer. My name is Dave Knittel, here with my brother Christian to discuss MLS Match Week 4 2019. Christian, you excited? You ready?
I'm ready. It's not many games this weekend, but we got some good ones, Dave.
Absolutely. So Christian's internet's being a little spotty, so we're going to try to push through this. If he breaks up, our apologies there. All right, first match of the weekend, we got FC Dallas taking on the Colorado Rapids, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, March 23rd. Come on, come back into focus, camera. Hello, there it is. Christian, what do you expect to happen in this match?
Well, I honestly don't know. I feel like this one could go either way. FC Dallas have been historically strong, but I don't really know how good they're going to be this season. I think they're a little bit down, but they still have the quality. However, Colorado Rapids, even with them being not as good as they've been in the past, haven't lost in 3 meetings with FC Dallas, so I could see them grinding out a result. They did get a result against Sporting Kansas City last week, which is another huge victory almost for them. They only got a point, but that's probably the best team in MLS right now, in my opinion. As much as I really hate to admit it, I think that they are really, really that talented. And I see Colorado going into Dallas and getting a point.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I think Seattle, LAFC, and DC United might have something to say about being the best team in MLS, but let's leave that to the side. I do agree that Colorado has looked good in their battles. They came back against Portland, down a man in that blizzard. You know, they got a result last week. They were leading for a portion of that match and kind of gave up a last second goal to Sporting Kansas City. Now, I have been impressed on the FC Dallas front with Paxton Pomykal. I expected him to have a role right from the start, and he didn't play in their first match, or he came on as a sub. And since then, he's played a much more integral part of their team. He's very influential in the center of the park. Really like what I'm seeing from him. Now, because it's MLS and because they insist on playing through the international break, throughout this Quick Kick Picks, we're going to have things sort of messed up. So Jesse Gonzalez got called into the U.S. men's national team camp. That's going to hurt FC Dallas. Jimmy Maurer is going to come in and replace him. He does have some MLS experience. He's got a ton of experience at the NASL level. There's going to be a drop-off there. We don't think it's going to be a ton. Rapids still haven't won, but like Christian said, they've picked up 2 tough draws and, ended up with that 1 loss. They don't have Diego Rubio for this because he's with Chile, I believe they're able to compensate for all of that, grind out a result. Just like Christian said, I'm expecting a 0-0 or a 1-1 here. So Christian, we're in agreement there. Anything else you want to add?
Very weird. I don't like that. So maybe we should change it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. It's it's weird when the two of us agree. We both feel icky. All right. Next up, we got Philadelphia Union taking on Columbus Crew, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, I believe, will be at this match. What are you expecting to happen here, Christian?
Well, I'm hoping to see some goals, Dave. I'm going to say that to start with. The Union, as we've discussed many times, are creating the chances. They just have had no ability to put the ball in the back of the net. I expect us to do the same against Columbus. I think that they're a steady squad, nothing really too flashy, but I think we can grind out a result. And I think we being the Union will find a way to get it done this weekend. The only thing that I expect to let's not say expect, hope to see is Harris Medunjanin on the bench, not starting in that holding role because he just gets the run around and has no defensive work rate at all whatsoever.
So I would be shocked if we actually see that. And that's because, again, MLS insists on playing through the break. Union's going to be without Andre Blake, Corey Burke, and Derek Jones. Those are the key main ones. I think they have a couple other players injured, Sergio Santos, all of those issues. And Jim Curtin, the manager of the Union this week, came out and said they may not even be able to have an 18-man roster for this match, which is just mind-blowing to me. The forward situation, like Christian alluded to, the forwards are not scoring, and with I can't imagine David Accam fills that void. And so it makes me very nervous this weekend, not having Sergio Santos, not having Corey Burke, who's not scoring anyways, having to rely on Fafa Picault and David Accam, who I think are going to be your forwards. I'm hoping to see some sort of rotation both in the lineup as well as in the formation. I know they're insisting on playing the 4-4-2 diamond, but again, I need to see something different from the squad. Maybe getting Brendan Aronson back into the game. He played fantastic down in Atlanta. If they can get him and Fabian on the field, maybe you do some sort of variation on the 4-2-2-2. bring him in, be a little bit more attacking. I would be shocked if Harris is benched just because I don't know who they bring in for him on that front. Now, we've talked a lot about the Union. Let's talk about Columbus. They're going to be missing Will Trapp, Justin Miram, and Giassi Zardes. Zach Steffen is injured, so Joe Bendick is likely going to be in net. He's somebody who is so spotty in his form. He can make great saves, and then he can just have serious blunders. I think that's a serious drop-off from Zach Steffen. That's something to keep your eye on. It's a toss-up for me.
Sorry, the only difference there is that the Union have to hit the target for that to be an issue.
That is a fantastic point, and one that I was getting to here. Like you said, I think they have one of the highest expected goals in MLS, but they don't have forwards who can actually hit the target. That is a problem here. I do think the Union does find a way to grind out a victory in this one. I know you thought they're going to grind out a result. I think they do end up getting 2 goals. Maybe Marco Fabian is back. He's motivated. I don't know why he wasn't called into the Mexico camp, but I'm not complaining because I'm happy he's with the Union. Maybe they get a goal through him. Maybe they get a goal through a winger. Maybe Aronson comes in again. Philly able to grind out a 2-1 victory in this one. Christian, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I guess I'll just put a score prediction out there. I'm seeing a low-scoring game. Maybe the Union win 1-0. Columbus are missing a lot of key players, and their strength has been in defense this year. They really have done a great job, only conceding 1 goal so far. They're not really banging in goals either, so I'm going to guess a 1-0 victory for the Union.
Good call. And yeah, I kind of glossed over this, but Columbus is tied first in the East. So I do want to give them props there. They're off to a fantastic start. All right, next match, we got New York Red Bull hosting Orlando City FC, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, what are you expecting in this one?
I really don't see much to be said in this game other than this is a New York Red Bulls win. Orlando really aren't that great of a team. I think that they've had a pretty simple start to the year and haven't taken advantage of it. They have 2 points from their opening 3 matches and really haven't played any of the top teams yet. And they have the Red Bulls and then followed by DC after, which is going to be a rough run for them, in my opinion. I can only see the Red Bulls grinding out a result here and probably winning by multiple goals. They are just a better squad overall and just will press and possess you to death.
So I'm in agreement that Red Bull gets a victory here, but I think you're sort of underselling Montreal Impact. So Orlando had to go to Montreal last week. They got spanked, and Montreal, I think, is one of the best teams in the East this season. So there is that element. Now, having said all of that, I expect a Red Bull victory here. Do want to shout out Florian Velo, tore his ACL this week. Really, really tough injury for him. Wish him well in recovery. Red Bull does have the quality to sort of fill in for that. I expect Mark Schakowsky and Omir Fernandez to step up in his absence. Now, the whole Kaku situation is really, really odd. So for those not following, Kaku wanted to move to Club America in Mexico over the transfer window. Didn't come to fruition. Him and his agent were making lots of noise. Over the last week, he's been tweeting a lot of negative things, and New York Red Bull ended up benching him. He's one of their highest paid, most talented attacking players. And Red Bull does have the system to sort of compensate for that, but they need to get that situation figured out before it festers and becomes a bigger problem. Now, on the Orlando City front, I'm curious to see who starts and how this team actually plays. Now, I've been away and I haven't gotten to watch a ton of them over the last 2 weeks, but I was impressed with Chris Mueller in the first match, and then it seemed like he didn't play a ton the second week, and then last week he did get some more time. So what's his role in this? Where's Nani playing? What's Dom Dwyer's impact in all of this? I'm going to be looking out for all of those things in this one. Coming off the loss to Montreal, again, it's nothing to sneeze at, because Montreal, I think, is really good, but expecting 3-1 from the Red Bulls at least, or at least a multi-goal victory is what I'll say. 2 goals from Red Bull. Christian, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Next match we got is LAFC versus Real Salt Lake in the nightcap on Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, what are you expecting in this match?
Well, I thought the last one was pretty straightforward. This one might even be more straightforward. I think that LAFC are going to steamroll them, and I honestly could see 4 or 5 goals being scored by LAFC in this game. They are hosting RSL here, who just do not look good so far. I know they got 1 win, and it was against Vancouver, who aren't that great as well, and that was at home as well. So there's just not a lot of positives. I think that the quality that LAFC really have, with Bob Bradley as their manager as well, just Carlos Vela, all their talent is just lights out and way ahead of what RSL have to offer right now. And I don't think RSL will really create much of a threat in the entire game.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. It's funny. You can tell we're related because I actually wrote down steamrolled as well in this one. So that's a little bit weird. But, LAFC, so incredibly talented. Now, Real Salt Lake, in fairness to them, they had a somewhat self-implosion last week in DC. Red card in the first half, another red card later on. And so, the 5-0 result doesn't tell the whole story there, but they were not great. Now, again, Carlos Vela, similar to Marco Fabian, I'm not sure why he's not with Mexico, but LAFC is certainly not going to be complaining on that front. It's unfortunate from an RSL perspective. I'm assuming they're going to try to key on him because I think he's the most talented player in MLS. Now, having said that, LAFC has the talent to compensate. Even if they take Vela out of the match, Diego Rossi, who might be the most talented young attacker in the league, is there. Latif Blessing, who's a little bit spotty in his form, but is still very dangerous. Lee Win, veteran, talented attacker. Christian Ramirez is with the national team, but Adama Diomande can step up, play the center forward role, and shouldn't really miss a beat there. So LAFC, again, I think easy victory, multi-goal victory in this one. From an RSL perspective, if they can be physical, if they can be very organized and well drilled and be tough to break down, they might frustrate LAFC. But at the end of the day, I just can't see LAFC not winning this game by multiple goals. Christian, anything else you want to add here?
Nope.
Okay. Last match of the weekend, and moving over to Sunday, March 24th, New England Revolution is hosting FC Cincinnati, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, Cincinnati have gotten better in each match. Conversely, it looks like the Revolution have regressed in each match. So they're coming into each other at probably the right time for Cincinnati, who do appear to be getting it together a little bit. They beat the Portland Timbers, who were leading the West last season, and really beat them. They won the West, right?
Well, they won the West in the playoffs. I wouldn't say that they were the best team in the West, but yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough. But they represented the West in the MLS Cup final, so they are a very, very talented squad. And Cincinnati made them look very ordinary last week with a 3-0 victory, and really impressive from them that they're getting it together this quickly as a brand new team. I didn't really expect much from Cincinnati this year. And conversely, New England Revolution, who have been around forever now, just are a mess. Honestly, I don't know how they can't get it together, but they have also probably not had that difficult of a start and just are just flopping over and over again. And I feel bad for their fans because they have been around forever, and just for some reason they can't put it together and get their squad to be competitive in this league.
So what are you expecting from this match?
Sorry, that's a good point. I'm not just talking about the teams. So I expect I'm going to predict a Cincinnati victory on the road here, 2-1 game.
Interesting. I like the bold prediction, and I'm in complete agreement with you. FC Cincinnati is getting better and better each match. I'm in agreement with you on that front. We'll get to my prediction a little bit later. I think both of these sides are ultimately going to miss the playoffs in the East, and this is going to be a really important match for both seasons. I know it's still early on, but this can really set each team on a path, give the team that wins confidence, give the team that loses really, a difficult road moving forward. Now, FC Cincinnati came off a huge 3-0 victory at home against the Timbers. Now, big caveat to that was not having Diego Chara for the whole ear flicking situation. So I think that played a huge role in that match. Now, FC Cincinnati did learn from coming out against Seattle, trying to be very aggressive with their defensive line, trying to be very aggressive in possession, and they just got absolutely smoked. They learned from that. They're pulling back more defensively. They're playing much more conservatively, playing on the counterattack, and that's going to work very, very well with their roster. They have talented players defensively and in the middle of the park from a defensive perspective. And then they have speed on the wings, and so get those guys moving forward. You have his name's escaping me, Fernando Adi at center forward, who can finish off the crosses. And again, I think they're just set up to play counterattacking, and it's good to see that they sort of learned from that first week, and I think are going to carry that forward. Revs, like Christian said, they're just a mess. Carlos Hill has been a fantastic revelation for them, great signing for them. He seems to be carrying a lot of their attacking verve and all of that, but they don't have too much else on that front, and it worries me if I'm a New England Revolution fan, which I'm not, but because I got all my Union scarves back here. But I don't know. I still see the Revs getting a draw in this match because it's so tough to predict a road team to get a victory. I like Christian going bold with his prediction. I'm not willing to go there. I think this is a draw. Both teams play on turf. That's another thing. A lot of teams sort of have to adapt to the New England Revolution turf. FC Cincinnati already plays on turf. There's not going to be too much of an adjustment there. I think that enables Cincinnati to get a road draw here. Christian, anything else you want to add?
Some may say he's a revelation.
Oh, I like it.
The only thing I want to highlight here is New England Revolution actually are the #1 team in winning the ball back in the final third. So they press high and really cause a lot of problems. They actually won the ball back 28 times in their first 3 games so far. And second and third are tied on 19. So that's significantly more than the next best team. So that is the one threat that they can pose in the final third, winning and countering quickly.
Excellent analysis. I love that. So that's what we'll be looking out for in this one. And so, Christian, great stuff there. And listeners, go enjoy. This has been Quick Kick Picks from Bros Talking Soccer, MLS Match Week 4. Go enjoy it. We'll talk to you soon. Say, everybody. Bye.